I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe.
Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kandron.
What's up? What's up? It is Dehjai, and we have a guest on our screen. This is Sharita. We'll tell you more about her in a moment, but of course, Kandron has to give us-
Never been here before. We do a pop culture and real life mashup. So we're here with Sharita.
We are affectionately calling her our nomadic entrepreneur because homegirl is traveling the world and still making the coins.
Yes. Come on, hair flip. So we just had a pretty long conversation, I think about 4 parts, talking about burnout and how it is, causing us to rethink our life plans and things of that nature. So we would love to hear from you. Like, how did you end up on this nomad entrepreneur lifestyle?
Great question. I love this topic, first of all, obviously. So I actually started my nomadic journey 4 years ago. And like many people, my plan was, 3 to 6 months living abroad, just give it a try, and I'll come back and jump back into my career. And that hasn't quite happened. I did jump back in my career technically, but I kind of remixed it a little bit. But yeah, I don't like to say I took the leap. I just made a decision one day and then left the next day. I took a year to make my leap because I was scared as hell, because it's very comfortable being in the States. It's very comfortable getting direct deposit. It's very yeah. I love direct deposit.
Man.
Listen.
Wow.
I don't think I love anything more than direct deposit.
What an invention. My God.
Okay.
That's how
Shout out to you, inventor of direct deposit.
So tell us a little bit about what your career was and how you, what did you do in the year while you were preparing to leave?
So my main career, my 9 to 5 was an attorney. So I did that 9 to 5, and I was not like that 6-figure rich attorney. I was working for a nonprofit. I was doing all right. I just want you to know I wasn't balling.
Yeah.
So on the side, I was also a fitness coach, because literally since the first day I became a lawyer, I was like, oh, this can't be it.
Man, listen, we are same.
So
each other.
So I quickly had a side hustle just to stay sane. Although that meant I was working a little more, it was just really to break things up. So I actually turned that side hustle into a more money-making business in that year before I moved abroad. And so I just went into high gear. I taught everywhere. I started taking on online clients, and I had these big group fitness series that I would do, 6-week classes. So they would be bigger ticket items and stuff like that. So I just started working more so I could put money away, because my plan was to quit. Because this was all pre-COVID. No one says Corona anymore. This was pre-COVID.
Interesting.
Been to her. And it was hard to find a remote job. My first plan was keep my job and work remotely, and they were like, no, and I couldn't find anything else. So I was like, well, I'm just going to do my own thing, take fitness, do that online and do it abroad. So that's what I did for the first year and a half. I just did fitness. So,
wow.
So it was, I moved to Colombia. So let me say that it's very cheap there. So, so I made 2 big changes. I let go of the 9 to 5. I built up my business, and then I moved to one of the cheapest places in the world to live, which I highly recommend.
I like Colombia.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. Now we talked briefly a couple of weeks ago, because Sharita's trying to help me to get into the remote living of life for work. And so one of the questions that I asked, because this is something that Kendra and I just finished talking about, is okay, so now we work remotely and we're kind of doing more contract style work. How do you make sure that you have insurance? Because here in the US, if you don't have insurance, when it comes time to file taxes, you get hit with a fine.
Yeah.
So
well, now they took the fine. That's the one thing Trump did.
Oh, well, that's I didn't know that. Okay.
It sucks because the fine sorry, I used to work in healthcare, but fine makes health insurance work, because if we all pay into it, it's cheaper, but I won't try to pay it either. So I am grateful. Done.
Johnny.
But either way, if you don't have a fine, if you get sick, you're done. So like in the States. So either way, you need insurance because we're not young people.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So which is another reason to like move abroad because insurance / healthcare itself is much more affordable. So
Yeah.
you won't go broke just because you got sick or hurt yourself. So
That's
anyway.
one of the benefits. I think a lot of people get like when people think about moving abroad, that's a huge factor. It's like, oh my God, like going to the doctor, like how are we going to be able to afford to do that because of like the point you made, so expensive here. And you have to have like some sort of backing for your healthcare. So totally insane. So talk to us about some of the like ways in which you found work and still being like out of the country.
So I will say it's not easy, but I've been really fortunate to find a lot of contracts on Upwork. So that's my favorite website, upwork.com. It's all about freelancers. And so I've found like copywriting jobs, which anybody can do. And then I've found law jobs. So people are like, I'm starting a new business. I need people to write out my website terms and some contracts and things like that. So those are the kind of clients I usually get. I have one client from Upwork who I've had since March, and I get regular paychecks through them. I only work about 15 hours for them. So the rest I try to fill in with on one-off clients. So it is like, it's up and down. Like this summer has been really slow client-wise, but right before that, I was getting like lots and lots of requests. And it seems to be picking up just ever so slowly now through Upwork. So the next place I look, I actually have a running search for part-time attorney jobs and part-time writing jobs if they're like for law writing and stuff. I have that running on LinkedIn and Indeed. So sometimes I'll get semi-long-term projects there as well.
Okay.
And I do see long-term projects there. It just hasn't worked out for me in the last few months, but depending on your skill set, like there's probably a ton of part-time and or one-off projects on Indeed and LinkedIn. And then specifically as a lawyer, there's a ton of legal placement services, and it's really been picking up because people are realizing like hiring a law firm is very, very, very expensive. Like they charge minimum $500 an hour, probably way more. And so if you just contract that out, you get a really like experienced attorney, but you're only going to use them like 20 hours, or you're only going to use them for 6 months, maybe full time, but only 6 months. And then you don't have to worry about paying them a large retainer or anything like that.
Yeah.
So as attorneys, there are a ton of placement companies that are I think they've really been stood up since COVID, just because everyone's trying to be more flexible and have work-life balance. So one off the top of my head is lawtrades.com. And there's another one called
Can't be writing stuff down.
I know. It's like I was like, I should have brought a little notepad. And there's one called OTTA, OTTA, and that's only tech jobs. Those do say US only, but
we can
don't.
go.
Do what you will. I think OTTA has jobs that are not just lawyers, but I'm only looking at the law jobs. I believe it's like all sorts of things for tech. And now that I'm in London, there's actually a London OTTA as well. So it's like really cool jobs at like big tech companies, or little tech companies just got big funding. So yeah,
guys, don't worry.
I have many more, but yeah, just follow me. You'll find
That's what I'm saying. Don't worry, guys. We will leave the information down below so that you can, if you want to work with Sharita, you can actually book time, which is what I did. And then I'll leave all her socials.
Yeah. But I will say the one rather important source that people don't think about is your network. Like I have actually, my friend, our mutual friend, Joy, can attest to this. I sent out an email when I first went back to law, because I did fitness for a long time. And I was like, all right, y'all, I miss money. So it was like, it's like 60 people. And I said, hey, I'm entering the job market again. I'm only looking for remote jobs. Here's my experience, here's my resume, blah, blah, blah. Let me know. And a lot of people, Joy especially, was like, this is so smart. It's just, you got to let people know what you're looking for. And you just never know. Like Dehjai could be like, oh, my friend is looking for XYZ and put you in touch. So whatever you need to let your network know so that it can come to you. So that's also been a of jobs. Mhm.
Honestly,
great.
that I love that you mentioned it too. That's also like a thing that Issa Rae mentioned about like working across your network as opposed to trying to do like that upward mobility thing, because upward mobility doesn't always work out for people who look like us. And so like definitely dope. So if you don't take nothing away from this meeting today, y'all make sure you take that away. Okay, work with your people.
Yes. But for real,
The
I didn't
travel
get
junk-
anything from that, but yeah,
Yeah.
like multiple people were like, okay, I'm looking out for you, and they check back in months later. So it's just nice to keep your network apprised of what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's dope.
So the travel junkie in me wants to know where you've been and where is your favorite location for the balance, for the play, for the work. What is your favorite location?
Ooh, it's so hard to pick, but okay, top 3, 4.
As many as you want to tell.
I can't do it. Let me just say where I've lived.
Yes.
I've lived in Medellin. That's in the top 3. Medellin, Colombia. Very affordable, surprisingly safe. Like I feel way safer than I do in the States, but that's a low bar. But like
the bar is in hell.
I'm just saying I can count the number of guns I've seen in Medellin. Not to say I haven't seen like police and stuff with guns and maybe a couple citizens, but like I see everybody with a gun in Virginia. So whatever. So I feel safe, and I also have common sense. But Medellin, I've lived there 2 times, so a year total. And then Antigua, Guatemala, not a top 3, but very, very nice. That's a great place if you want to slow down. Also pretty affordable. It's really small, but it packs a really good punch. Like it just got like really good vibes. Great place to learn Spanish.
What I need to do.
Really
like
good.
I understand, but I don't speak as fluently as I should, considering how long I studied it. Carry on.
Hey, that's how I was before I moved. I was in school way too long for Spanish and then came out with barely anything. But yeah, Guatemala is a great idea. Like I did like intensive Spanish classes there for like something cheap, like $10 an hour, maybe a little bit less. And I did that for 2 weeks. You can do it for like a whole summer, whatever you want. Beautiful, beautiful place. And then Mexico City, very, very popular. One of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah. I love
Mexico's
Mexico
beautiful.
City.
Mexico City. Oh, I've only like I've had a couple of people that I know that have gone and just kind of like stayed either a couple of days or like a week, and it's just always looks so beautiful. And I'm like, I really need to go. So I'm about to renew my passport because no more being here.
It's right. It's dope there. Very big Black expat community. So they're even like building out this thing called diaspora, and it's like these hip hop parties, but it's like Black people and Mexicans all together. It's really nice. I have a handful of friends who are like starting businesses in Mexico City. So it's a great place. It is a little controversial now because everybody and their mama's moving there, and all these people from San Francisco with all their money who think rent should be $5,000 come to Mexico, and they're like, oh, here you go. Here's $2,000 for this $600 apartment. And now all the prices are driving up. So
Let
it's
me
bad
tell you
for
something.
Like,
Those
why
people
can't I
are
do that?
so aggravating.
Yeah.
They did the same thing in Miami. Miami was incredibly affordable for it to be
Was
like
it?
a city, but yes,
She's
it
been
was
there for a
very
really long time.
affordable. Like my apartment, I lived on the water, like on the bay for like next to nothing. And it was so affordable for so long. And as soon as the pandemic hit, like literally the prices to buy are just things have gone up $200,000 and $300,000 in like 2 years.
I've
Not
seen the
kidding.
same thing for Tampa. I was like,
Yeah,
Tampa
Tampa
expensive?
too. Tampa, Orlando, anywhere in like Florida, people are just coming with their tech money, and we're just like, can you please go home? We would really like you to go back.
Yeah, we need to have
My
a
thing
second
is-
panel on like the downside of this remote work, because it's definitely
Please.
Well, no, tell us now. We want to
Well,
hear.
Listen, I am more than welcome. Listen, I
I wanna
replace you.
hear.
We will do all the work together.
I mean,
Yes.
I love remote work. Like, I ain't trying to ever go back, but the way that we can take advantage of these different markets, what it really is that San Francisco took advantage of those poor people who are living there and drove those
Correct.
prices up. But now those people are like, well, I got money to spend, and Google pays them to live in San Francisco, and now they live in the cheaper places. And then there's just no controls for anybody. There's no one to stop the landlord from raising it. There's no one to stop me from offering double. It's insane. And as long as someone is willing to pay double the price, then that will be the price. Like, who's going to say no to that? And that's happening in these third world countries, which is really getting kind of sad.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope
So
that
are you
they
finding yourself having to like move around a lot to try to like adjust for the pricing? Like, how are you handling that as a full-time
The,
remote?
the only reason I actually move is because I just don't feel like getting a visa so far. I'm getting one next year somewhere. I don't know where, but
Fair.
I just stay for my tourist visa. So but I did try to go back to Mexico City for a month this past year, and I was like, I can't afford this. Like, I could
Oh,
afford maybe a
wow.
year-long lease because it would be cheaper, but Airbnb has gone. I'm saying I can't afford it because I know what the prices should be,
Yeah.
and
Got it.
No,
Yeah.
I hear you.
I refuse to pay the new price. Literally, somebody offered me an apartment where a friend stayed, and they were paying 12, no, 700 total for 3 bedroom. They were offering a room for 900 now.
It's crazy.
One,
Shut up.
I was like, but I know this apartment. Like, you can't, I know what it costs. It cost this much 6 months ago. And they were like, oh, sorry. I don't know who those owners are. But so anyway.
That's awful. So that makes me feel for the, like you said, like the community. Like, I mean, it happens here in the US. It's
Yeah.
happening right here in Richmond. You know that,
Oh,
like the way the
yeah.
city looks now, and it, like moving so many people out because the rent is like in astronomical for this city.
And if it's, yeah, and
Astronomical.
you just put that on top of like a third world country where their wages will never reach what ours reach. And yeah, it's really bad. It's one downside that I hate, and I just wish that there were like rules for us, more rules for us,
No.
or even like separate prices. Like there should be a local price, and then,
Yeah.
but I don't know how they do that. So that
Maybe
part is,
that's something that you can like figure out and help them implement, so you can go back to Mexico City and then I can
I
come
know, right?
Right.
Then I could go. But I am still looking at places that are still affordable. And Mexico City is still affordable. As I said, 900. It's not a lot of money,
Yeah.
but I
I
just,
mean, to the locals, that might be a lot. That
and
might
that
be
was
like what we're talking about living in the States, you know, like
exactly.
double that.
And that was like not one of the most popular neighborhoods and stuff like that. So when I looked at the more popular neighborhoods, they were at like 15 and stuff for a month, which is just like, there are cheaper places, but like if you do short-term rentals, it's really gone insane. So, and I live off short-term rentals, so it's getting
Yeah.
harder. That's another thing. It is getting harder. If everyone should do this lifestyle, but just be prepared.
That is
Yeah.
gonna be a hustle.
Got 500 a month, you good. Now it's like, just keep your normal idea of rent in mind and then spend it wisely. So, but anyway, outside of Latin America, Lisbon is really, really great. Love
Heard
Lisbon.
that.
Yeah, it's still affordable for Europe, and really great Black expat community, and also like people from the diaspora. There's like a lot of Angolans and Brazilians, Black and other types of Brazilians. So you don't stand out, and it feels really good there. Like people are just like, okay, you could live here. So really, really love Lisbon, and it's like one of the sunniest places in the world or something like that.
Oh.
So
Oh wow.
I actually have a friend who's about to move to Portugal, like to Lisbon, probably. Yeah.
it's wonderful. I love it. And then there's like the beach. You got a big city, so it's dope. And now I'm in expensive ass London.
I was gonna say, well, how'd you end up in London, child? Like,
But it looked like if you
Everybody
see her
has to
social
be-
media, she having the time of her life. Okay.
So the first thing I say about every city is, what does it cost? Blah, blah, blah. Because I want to work as little as possible and live as lavishly as possible.
Mhm.
one soft
Like,
life.
well, so exactly.
That's
So
coming up, y'all.
London does not agree with that. However, the dating scene is right though. So I'm gonna just enjoy it for a while.
Understood.
For the single girls, okay, we know we need to be in London.
The Black men are just like everywhere, just like
Yes.
One
it
of the
feels
things
nice.
one of the things that I was going to ask you is, like, as a Black woman traveling to all these different countries, how does it, like, I know here in America, we are always constantly aware that we're a woman and that we're Black. But like when you leave this country, what is that like for you?
It's interesting because like your value goes up and down as you move around. So, and I guess I mean in different ways, like in dating, I guess I haven't tried to like work anywhere necessarily, but yeah, your value goes up and down. So I think in the States, you know where we stand. Maybe we're not at the top. We're popular, but we're not.
Our culture is popular, not
Yeah.
necessarily us.
Real.
We're popular for being stolen from.
Right. Yeah. Everybody wants to be Black, but don't want to say that.
But I never really felt except for like the old men in DC, but I've never felt like an appreciation. Um, hey,
Facts.
Queen, when you go to like somewhere like Mexico, not all parts of Mexico, but Mexico City, I really felt like this. I don't know how else to describe it besides appreciation. And this was from men and women. Like the men are like, I didn't feel fetishized. Maybe I was, but they weren't weird with it. So I felt like, oh, they're just interested. They acknowledge that I'm different. I know that it's because I'm a little different, but they're like, oh, I just really Black women. I really like Black women, or they wouldn't make a big deal. They just were like, ooh, like I don't know. They're just intrigued,
Yeah.
excited. And then the women, it probably is because of the Western culture. They're like, oh, cool. I want to be friends with a Black woman, but they were just like, come on in. Like that's
Yeah.
how it felt. I felt like
Yeah.
welcome, but also appreciated, and not fetishized or appropriated.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
That matters.
which is that's different than back home. So different places you go, it'll be a little different. There are different places in Mexico. If it's not as like urban or something, people will be like, can I take your picture and stuff like that? And I think that's weird.
Yeah.
But
That has happened to
I
me.
don't like it.
That happened to me in China.
Oh, I
Oh
am not
yeah,
trying.
yeah. You did tell us that.
Yeah, I can't. I could barely take it. Only happened to me 4 times in Mexico, but I don't like it.
Yeah, not a fan.
So it just varies. And then somewhere like here, I feel like as an American Black woman, we have like this, we stand out because our vibes are different. We're a little bit country. We got like, I don't know, we're happier, something. So like just that we're unique here and we can be just a little bit more appreciated. I don't know. Every
Yeah.
woman in London is like disagreeing with me if you're from here, but if they went to America, they would do really well too. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a different
I
vibe. It's
think it's
something
the
like different.
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's the accent too, to your point of like being Southern, and then also the fact that you're American, like a Southern
Yeah.
American Black woman, they're probably like,
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I have
Isn't
been
that a
places
world?
where I felt really gross, like
Mhm.
Madrid. I was there for a long time ago,
Oh,
but
she
oh my
said that
God.
too. That's so funny. Wow.
I
You
did
had the
not.
same experience?
Oh my god. I had that really poor experience in Barcelona. Barcelona was like, you could not pay me to go back. Madrid was a little more friendly, but still kind of like, I'm good on
Mm.
that. I'm good on it. Like
Everybody's
was
telling me I haven't been
wasn't a fan.
Barcelona. Everyone's saying I'll like Barcelona more, but I'm like,
I
I think
had the
it's the
opposite.
Spanish people. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's.
The Spanish men. Sorry.
I think
I
it's
didn't have any issues with the women. Like I never even got looks from them, but the men, oh my God.
just rude and like even
Yeah.
in Madrid, like I had kids like pointing at me and like, what is that? And it was kind of
Mm.
like, y'all have there's Black people here. Like I don't
Oh
understand
my God.
how
That's different.
I don't understand how this
Yeah.
is a thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
it ain't the same everywhere, child.
Yeah. So it really varies, for sure. But I will say I always feel safe. I never feel like my life is at risk.
Those are things that I'm
Compared
concerned
to
about.
driving as a Black woman in America. So
Yeah.
It's very I would have a hard time feeling more unsafe anywhere else because it's
It-
like there's
right.
guns everywhere. Like if you think about it, sometimes I'm just scared to be like, Lord God, please don't let me be in a mass shooting in here today. Like, just going
Just
to the
going to the
mall, just
grocery
going to the
store. Yeah.
grocery store, to anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere. It's
Somebody
like,
just in a bad mood and that's it. Yeah.
So
Yeah. But
It's really crazy. Period.
it is.
Sorry to
And
be a
it's
downer.
I get worse about it now when I go home. Well, now they changed the laws too, but like everybody's just carrying a gun openly.
Yeah.
Yes, here in Richmond, that shit is wild. It
Is
never
Wawa.
it?
was like
What do you need a
that.
gun for in Wawa? Like, what
Yeah.
are we
That's
doing?
wild.
I'm not used to seeing, because like, we went to college here, Kandron and I don't think I mentioned that to Sharita, but we went to VCU and that's how we met. And so like when we lived here at that time, you never saw that. And even when I left for like maybe 6 to 8 years, something like that. And then I came back. And even when I first got here, I didn't see it. I really didn't start seeing people walking around with guns until like 2015.
That's
And like
wild.
on their hips, just there. And like, it's alarming to see, like, oh my God, like this, like, I'll never forget it. I was coming out of my old apartment and it was a young man, a young Black man, but he lived in my building and he just had a fucking gun in his pocket. And I'm like, I hope you got your safety on, you gonna shoot your dick off. Like, what is happening? Like, but it was so, like, Kendra knows I'm very like blunt, but it was jarring. It freaked me out because he wanted to help me. I was carrying all this stuff and I was so afraid to let him help me, but all because I saw the gun. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, I get that we are in an open carry state. Like, relax. He's not necessarily going to rob you, but you don't necessarily know that either. He was so damn nice, but it freaked me out just because I saw the gun in his pocket.
I'm not even scared of nobody robbing me. I'm just scared of somebody having a bad day and shooting me. Like,
yes.
And the irony, so like this weekend I went home to visit my parents and kind of see them, and I was talking to my mom about how, like, never in my life have I ever been afraid of like white people, but like now I am. Like, so not like my friends are one thing and their family and friends are one thing, but like when I'm in, you know, areas where there's more white people than it is me, I'm terrified. And like, I don't like that. So I am really, that's why I was on it. Like, Sharita, help me. I got to get out of here.
If anything, like, what is great about the time we're in and this whole new like remote work culture is that we have a choice now. Like, I totally get that people felt like they couldn't leave before. And, you know, home is everything. And I still get that. And maybe have families, but we really do have it out. And like, there are so many countries that are opening up to digital nomads. And all you have to do is show that you have income coming in. It don't even have, like, you can be a freelancer and just show regular bank statements. If you have investments, you can show that you have investments. They just want to see a direct deposit or some deposit into your account on a regular basis. And like, that's really all it takes. And yes, it's uncomfortable a little bit, but we have an option. Like, our country just seems like it's about to burn down. Like, it's about to be.
Seems like it is.
Yeah, it is. So this is just one more way to just make our exit plan, or just be ready. Like, get the passport. Have a job that's flexible so that one day, if you need to, you can just bounce. And there's nothing wrong with that. And nothing is final either. But if you need a break from just being stressed the fuck out all the time in the States, you can also just leave for a bit. Like, that is something that is opened up to us. And that's a privilege that we have as Americans. But we should take advantage of it because it's just not safe for us, and especially as Black people. So, not to bash anyone who's staying, but I just hope that everybody knows they have options. And that's really why I share. You know, it's not a perfect lifestyle. There's problems with it. And I'm moving around a lot. Like, it's ridiculous. But, you know, I still, like, at the end of the day, I don't worry about going to like a big event. I don't worry about walking down the street. Like, I'm just, I feel
those are the things that, like, one of the things that I tell, and this has been held several years at this point, but when I was 21, I went to see my sister in Italy. And like, it was like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. We come out of the club that was like out on the beach, and like, we're just hanging out, and it's military area. Well, not military area, but like a lot of military would frequent this particular club. And so at that time in the morning, the let out is happening and nobody has nothing to do. So like, we're just all just outside, and it was like 20 Black people, but I remember at the time just very vigilant of like, hey, like, maybe we should all kind of disperse. And my friends and my sister and her friends were like, you don't have to worry about that here. Like, there's a cop right there. He's just watching us. He's not going to say anything, you know, not unless y'all are really causing havoc or anything like that. Like, they're just going to laugh at you and watch you do whatever and then talk to you and then go on about their business. And like, we were able to just kind of be like 20 people deep, all Black people and Hispanic people, just hanging out, laughing, being goofy and loud, and like nothing ever happened. You could never do that here in the States.
No,
I love that.
Definitely not in Richmond.
Ciao, hello.
1 a.m. People are just angry and they strapped. So like,
facts.
It's just.
So Sharita, I know you mentioned earlier about, you know, trying to get a visa somewhere within the next year. What's on your list? Are you planning to do this like long term, or is it something you'd like to settle down someplace and kind of go from there?
Yeah, I definitely want to settle down somewhere. I think London, Lisbon, in this order, London, Lisbon, and Mexico City are my top 3 for visas. So London is because I just feel like Black people are just thriving here.
Hmm.
People got these accents. I'm doing all right. But it's very expensive here. It's also hard to immigrate here because you have to get a job here or marry somebody. So um, then Lisbon is a much easier place to get a visa. You can also get a 5-year, you can keep getting extensions on a visa. And then after 5 years, you can actually get a passport. So then you can go anywhere EU. So Lisbon, Portugal is really good for that reason. Also
Okay.
inexpensive. And then Mexico City for all the reasons I said before. So I'm just trying to see which one ends up working out. I feel like Lisbon's going to work out though, and I'll just have to come back to London in the summers or something.
Okay.
But I do want to sit down internationally, and then I want to just like have my life and probably visit a new country for a few months each year.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect.
I'm trying to be like Sharita when I grow up, girl.
Man, listen. I love it. I love it.
I mean, this is the dream, but now I've said it out loud. So
Listen, from your lips to God's ears. What's the saying I always get wrong, Kandron? When
That's
two or
it.
more come together. What?
Yeah, 2 or 3 are gathered.
Mhm.
There he is in the midst, or something like that.
Mhm. So it's gonna happen. Me and Kandron about to be working remotely like Sharita, and Sharita finna be out here traveling the world every so many months.
Exactly.
So do you have any
Um,
like parting advice for people who are looking to try to transition into this lifestyle?
Yes. So number one is remote job search is not easy. It took me 6 months to find my first full-time remote job. So I like doing freelancing in between. If you need something to like cover you, I guess I would say don't just jump without having any sort of savings or keeping your job. Like I wouldn't take the leap without any money available, especially now with the recession and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So just start to save up as much as you can, or even work on the side as you look for that remote job so you can make the actual move. And then when you're looking for remote jobs, don't just look for like your title. Like if you are a
That's
social
good
media
advice.
manager, yeah, look for your skills. So your
Mm.
skills can be a lot more jobs than just
Change
that
stuff.
one title. Yeah. Write that
Listen,
down, tell it back to me later.
she's a wealth of knowledge. We just gonna have to bring Sharita back, okay?
Yes, expand to your skills, and that'll be a lot more job titles and many more opportunities that you will probably qualify for. And then, yeah, last but not least, I guess just remember that nothing is final. You can move somewhere, you can enter into a career or something, and you can change your mind. You can move somewhere else, you can move into another career. You don't have to, I think people put pressure on like, this is the one thing I'm going to do, this is the one country I'm going to live in, and there's just no need for that. So try it, see how it goes, and just know that you can change your mind. You can go back home, you can do whatever you want. But I think keeping that in your mind puts a lot less pressure on yourself, and give yourself grace as you're going through this. And I'm kind of saying that to myself now because I'm like, I really wanted London to work, and now I'm like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
feel like
good
I'm
though.
letting someone down. I don't know who I'm letting down, but there's no pressure. This is your life. It's all up to you. You can go down one path, you can turn around, you can do whatever you want, but do something.
Yeah, I
Get on
love
your
that.
That's really the thing.
I love
Do
that.
something, take an action, because otherwise you're just gonna be sitting around, partying things around in your mind. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
could work and that could work. This could be fun and that could be fun. Like that doesn't work if you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna ever take the
Yeah.
leap.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Like, this has been so super informative. Tell everybody where to find you. We want to send people your way.
Yes.
So right now you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Sharita's World, ITS, and then Sharita's World. I'm only there if anybody wants to make me a website because you love me, go ahead. But as Dehjai mentioned, I do have one-on-one coaching calls just to help people walk through this process of either going remote, taking their career remote, and or moving abroad. So I kind of keep it open-ended because people have such different questions. So I'm just kind of here to help you like navigate wherever you are in that process.
Well, you're about to see my name pop up on your
Pull up. It's I love it. Like I learned so much from the people who call, and I hope they learn a lot as well. But
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a while, so I just feel like I have so much to share, and it's like the easiest way to share is just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. Well,
Mhm.
thank you again for your time. Guys, drop down in the comments. Let us know what you thought about this conversation. Please book time with Sharita. This is part of her ability to be a nomad is
Yes.
people booking time with her. So book time with her to like deepen the conversation. And like I said, drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think about the nomad lifestyle. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, and follow us everywhere. And everything's down in the description box. Later.
Bye, y'all.